Hi everyone, today I want to talk about what GitHub Actions are. If you have no idea what that means, don't worry, by the end of this video you will. I'm Samir. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I've been a software developer for over 10 years now, and I did not start writing code till I was 24 years old, so I know exactly what it feels like not to understand a single thing. So in my videos, I try to break things down so simply so that anyone can pick them up. Before I dive into what GitHub Actions are, we need to take a step back and understand what Git and GitHub is. Git is a version control system that allows you to manage multiple versions of your code, and GitHub is a web interface that wraps around Git and allows you to use Git via a GUI while allowing you to collaborate with others. You can sort of think of GitHub as the Google Docs of docs. While your docs live in your local computer, Google Docs is the web interface that provides a GUI that you can use to interact and share docs with other people. So GitHub is the web interface that wraps around Git, and Git is a version control system that allows you to save multiple versions of your code. Now, within Git and GitHub, there is a concept of a repository. If you've never heard of the term, you can think of a repository as a directory. A repository allows you to save many files, just like a directory does. Now, let's dive into what GitHub Actions are. To understand GitHub Actions, we are gonna go through an example. Let's pretend that we have built out a landing page. This landing page could be for your business, to hold your resume, or simply just to hold a portfolio. And you've built this landing page and you've wrote it in code and you placed it on a GitHub repository. And right now you are making sure that the landing page is visible to the public by uploading the files manually to a hosting platform. Now, this works just fine, but it can get very repetitive and very annoying very quickly. And this is where GitHub Actions plays a crucial role. So GitHub Actions is a tool that lives within GitHub, specifically within GitHub repositories. And what it will allow us to do is automate the process of uploading the files from our GitHub repository to the hosting site where we are hosting our landing page. So how it works is within every GitHub repository, you can define what is called a GitHub Actions workflow. And this GitHub Actions workflow responds to a repository event. For example, updating your repository code is considered an event. So you can set up the GitHub Actions workflow to respond to the updating of the repository code. When the updating of the repository code happens, the workflow will then run. You can write a workflow that will take the code in your repository and upload it to the hosting platform so that your landing page is automatically updated with the latest code that just got placed on the GitHub repository. And that's what GitHub Actions is. It is a tool within GitHub, specifically within GitHub repositories, that you can utilize to automate processes centered around specific things that happen to your repository, such as updating your repository code. Now, GitHub Actions can obviously do a lot more than automate the process of making sure your landing page is automatically updated on your hosting platform. Another common workflow that GitHub Actions is used for is validating that what is happening in your repository code is accurate or good enough to go out to the world. So if we take a step back and we say, okay, there are many people updating my landing page because this landing page is for my company, but I want to make sure that anything getting placed on my landing page has the correct spelling. Something you can do is you could add a GitHub Actions workflow that validates that there are no spelling errors anytime there is an update to the code. And only if there are no spelling errors does it allow the code to be placed in the final version of your repository. So you could then create a GitHub Actions workflow that responds to the event of someone wanting to update the repository with new code. So then, in this case, the GitHub Actions workflow would run. It would validate that whatever code is getting placed on the landing page has no spelling mistakes, and only then will it allow the repository to be updated with the new code. If there was a spelling mistake, it would then block the repository from being updated with the new code. And that's another really good use case for GitHub Actions, because it allows you to ensure that the code being uploaded to the repository is staying up to par. In this case, simply checking for spelling mistakes. But you can think beyond a landing page. If you had a website where you need to validate some sort of functionality, you can place tests on a GitHub Actions workflow that can validate the functionality and ensure that there is no functionality errors being introduced when the code is updated. And so that is what GitHub Actions is. So to sum it up, GitHub Actions is a tool that lives within GitHub, specifically within GitHub repositories. It is a tool that responds to repository events and automates processes centered around your repository. And then remember, Git is a version control system that allows you to keep multiple versions of your code, and GitHub is simply a web interface that wraps Git, that makes it easier to interact with Git and also collaborate with other users via a web interface. And that's it. That is what GitHub Actions is. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out some of my other content over here, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.